What's up, geeks and gamers? Mike and I are here to talk about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We just got back from watching it, and it was definitely a movie. I can tell you that, and we're going to be talking about that and everything about it. But I'm just going to say right off the bat, I'm going to warn you guys. I have to come clean a little bit here. I did kind of fall asleep during the movie a little bit during a couple parts. So it's just kind of like, you know what? I don't know if I want to be here. I'd rather be, closing my eyes and in my head. So so that I guess that can tell you a little bit about what the movie's like. But Mike, what are your initial thoughts about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness?
I'm really getting frustrated about having to constantly say to people, it is a movie, because I don't want to say anything bad about it. But
we didn't have to say that about the Northmen.
So that's true.
Yeah,
that is true. But I mean, that's like such a rare thing.
But yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. My expectations weren't super high going into it, but I was excited for Sam Raimi. I think Benedict Cumberbatch does a good job as Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I had some hopes about the magic and about how Sam Raimi would do the magic and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I did not hate this movie, but I did not love this movie. For every one scene that I really enjoyed, there were like two scenes that I thought were really cringy or really goofy or very preachy. That I will tell you this right off the bat, because I know the biggest question a lot of people have is it woke? Yes. It is not heavy-handedly woke. It is just woven throughout the plot woke.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole movie. The way I described it when I first walked in the door, my wife was like, I was like, Doctor Strange is the biggest idiot in the multiverse, but he's also responsible for everything in the multiverse. And everybody else seems to know what's going on with the multiverse except him, but he's responsible for everything.
So frustrating, man. So frustrating.
There are multiple characters in this that basically tell Doctor Strange, it's your fault things are like the way that they are, even if you didn't know what's going on with it, but I know what's going on with it, and I actually am kind of partially responsible for all that's happening, but it's your fault.
Yeah.
And I refuse to take the blame for it.
Yep.
I'll say that part of it's really frustrating. Once again, Disney continues with this weird idea of deconstructing your heroes makes for interesting stories, and it really doesn't. That's like my initial thought on it. I'll kick it back to you and let you say more, and then I can finish up.
There was a point where I was excited about this movie. After Spider-Man No Way Home came out, they showed the first trailer for Doctor Strange 2. And in that trailer, the entire trailer was about Doctor Strange. The movie is not about Doctor Strange. It kind of is, but the main characters of this film, I would say, are Wanda and America Chavez. Like, they are absolutely the ones that carry this movie all the way through. Doctor Strange, it starts off looking like it's going to be kind of his movie, but then pretty quickly when Wanda shows up and stuff, it changes, it switches that, and is not really the focus of the movie. Isn't really about Doctor Strange motives as much as it is about Wanda's motives during the film and stuff. And that really annoyed me about the film. This did not feel like a Doctor Strange movie at all to me. It didn't feel like a movie that really went into any sort of multiverse of madness type scenarios that much to me either. I was hoping that this movie would be super trippy, super weird, super crazy, and it wasn't really. Like, there were some things that happened that were, kind of, I guess, outside of the box a little bit for Marvel, but still, it felt like a safe movie in a lot of ways to me, and that's something that really annoyed me about this film as well. So,
I was going to say the way I described it also is it felt like there were four different ideas for what this movie was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And nobody knew exactly what they wanted to settle on. Like, this is a Wanda movie. Like, if it was Wanda versus Doctor Strange, that's a movie idea.
Right.
If it's a Doctor Strange sequel following up on the previous storyline to Doctor Strange and his interactions with certain characters and stuff, there's that part of it.
Yep.
Then it's also Scott Derrickson's idea of Doctor Strange and what he wanted to do with it. The other thing, like, yes, it's the sequel to Doctor Strange, but there were 3 different sequels. There's the one that the producers obviously wanted. They, with identity politics and feminism and American fucking Chavez and stuff. Then there's Scott Derrickson's version, because remember, guys, Scott Derrickson's version, originally the villain, he declared it was supposed to be Nightmare. Nightmare is not in this movie. That's not a spoiler. Nightmare is not in this fucking movie.
Nope.
And then there's Sam Raimi's version. And you can tell that all 3 of them are all 4 of those ideas are in conflict with each other throughout this whole movie. I will say this, credit to Sam Raimi. He does the best with what he has. There are moments where you feel like this is a Sam Raimi movie and it works. Yeah. There are moments where you feel like Sam Raimi's trying his best to make it work with what he's got. And those parts kind of falter. I will say this, though, to Sam Raimi's credit, because this definitely feels like Sam Raimi's credit, not Marvel's. This is one of the most violent Marvel movies that we've seen in the MCU. Yeah. There are some very violent scenes in this movie for a PG-13 rating. I mean, we just got done, we watched Morbius a couple weeks ago. There's no freaking blood in that movie.
Oh my gosh.
This movie actually can be kind of bloody and pretty gory sometimes.
Yeah.
It's still PG-13, but that part of it, I guess, credit to him about that.
Yeah, I mean, we can toss him a bone, sure.
Yeah, give him something. Poor bastard.
Oh man, no, and I think that's one of the things that that's one of the things why I like that trailer. I think when that trailer first came out, was it felt like to me it was shown that in the Multiverse of Madness was going to be basically about Doctor Strange fixing the mess of what happened with opening up the multiverse and all that type of stuff. That's what it felt like, what the premise of the movie was. And I was like, okay, I can get behind this. This seems like a cool idea and stuff. And I think that would have been a really cool movie, but that's not what we got in this film really at all. So like you said, there's it's weird because the movie doesn't really feel like there's a lot that happens, but at the same time, there are a lot of weird plots and weird storylines that are definitely conflicting with each other about which one's getting the most attention and stuff. There's a lot going on, but not much being done. Yeah, and 100%. They reference once, maybe twice in this whole movie, what happens in Spider-Man: No Way Home. That just once or twice they reference it, but it is not the plot of this movie. Right. Also, they flat out tell you in this movie, we are not really addressing WandaVision. Because they kind of say that, like they reference Wanda and WandaVision and her stuff, and they're like, we're not talking about that. That's not important. Also, and I will say this because they dropped it in the trailers, there's a big call. You could tell that the cameos in this movie are not very good. No, they're not. No, there was one cameo that I was the most surprised about, and I was like, "That's actually kind of cool." And I have to give it to the actor; they did the best with what they had. There is another cameo in this film, that I was like, didn't expect it, but whatever, we'll make it work, because the character's kind of loved and blah blah blah. Then there is the cameo, and I promise you will know this cameo when you see it. It is horrendously bad. It is cringy. The actor that took this decided, I'm gonna go the most one-dimensional, shitty route with this character that I possibly can and make nobody interested in seeing me potentially in future movies. And I will tell you this now, you will potentially see them in future movies. And that is how bad it is. Embarrassing how bad it is. The cameos were terrible in this movie.
The cameos were terrible in this movie. They're not worth it at all.
And there were some that I should have been excited about. Yeah,
but they don't let you
at all.
Nope.
Yep.
And I will tell you this too, and as another, because of the community we're talking to, guys, because I want you to know what you're getting into. There are straight up girl power moments in this movie. There are straight up moments where a character with significantly more power, significantly more skill is immediately put in the place by a woman or shown up by a woman. There's a moment where literally Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer fucking Supreme, is told, you don't know what's going on here, but I do. And then proceeds to not know what the hell's going on. But they, they straight up constantly remind Doctor Strange, you're an idiot, you're stupid, you're dumb, you always make the wrong choice, you always make the wrong call, and then immediately turn around and go, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what's going on, Doctor Strange fixed it.
Yeah.
And he just goes, yep, that's fine. Yep.
The wokeness in this movie was a lot more cleverly subtle than it has been in instances in the past and stuff, but it is definitely interwoven throughout this entire film. And it is, this movie is foundationally woke, I would say.
Yes. Which is very on par for the MCU right now. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So, Mike, do you recommend people go see this in theaters, wait for it to come out on home video or whatever, or just skip it altogether?
Ooh, buddy boy, howdy. I will tell you this right now. I think you should skip the movie. I don't think I think you're going to be disappointed. I think what everybody was expecting, what you were hoping, you know what? I've seen some people say they love this movie and had a really great time. I've seen some people say that they absolutely hated this movie. And I've seen a few people kind of fall in the middle and just say, whatever, it was okay. Yeah. I don't think it's worth the ticket price. Maybe a matinee. Maybe if you have friends that are really into the MCU and they want to go see it, convince them to go see it at a matinee price. Maybe, I can't even suggest it out in demand because it's going to be a Disney Plus. It's not even worth the admission of a Disney Plus, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would say don't go see this movie. I don't think it's worth your time. Yep.
Yeah. I am going to say don't see this movie at all. It is not the Doctor Strange movie we should have gotten at all. It's a disappointment. It's very meh. It's definitely not worth your time. So that's what I'm going to say as well. So with that being said, that is going to be our review for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. If you've seen it, let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you going to see it? All that good stuff. And we'll talk to you all in another video very soon. Bye.